Thank you very much for coming to London. Many of you have traveled from the US and other countries, so thank you very much for taking the time. So ADC follows up from last year's first event, the Juice Summit. And running the Juice Summit last year, we realized that there was an appetite from the community for an annual gathering for audio developers. And so we decided not only to do it again, but also to rename it so that we address more the category that we all work in audio development rather than just Juice. And I don't know if it's a result of that or some good work that we've been doing, but it's really well attended. We have more than twice as many people as last year. So we're pretty happy with that. So what we want to do with ADC now and in the future, basically we want to address the issue that most of you are working on right now, and this is where ROLI we also come from. So music technology has changed the way we listen to music, record music, broadcast it. So music industry is really where many of you come from. But audio development is a bigger field, and for example, we have virtual reality, and virtual reality is mainly concerned by visual display, but the immersion requires also good audio. And 3D audio is something that many of you may be familiar with, and we have a panel on the subject during this conference. We also want to cater for telecom and mobile. Every day, every phone call that is made requires an analog digital converter to work and a digital analog converter to work as well. And also, mobile phones are an increasing platform for music listening and music creation. So we want this conference to be addressing audio development from all of these areas. We also want to invite academics to participate to this, because academia shows us glimpses of what music technology could be in 10 years. So we want them to inspire us. Are there many academics in the room? Can you raise your hand if you're in academia? Well, not many people, I guess. No, I think we do have about 30, so I guess they just wake up a bit later than. So it was a decision from us from the beginning to host it at Goldsmiths, because Goldsmiths is a partner to ROLI on a European project, along with IRCAM and Pompeu Fabra in Barcelona. So it's 3 universities and 4 industries, including audio gaming and 2 other industry. So they're a partner, and this European project is about taking university research to a more advanced level of readiness. So that's something that we feel passionate about. We hope that the academics here and the talks that come from academia are going to inspire you, and reciprocally that academic researchers will be provided a context with the research and the talks that everyone here is doing. So thank you, Goldsmiths, for hosting us. A quick word about the sponsors. Thank you very much to our sponsors for supporting that event. Our gold sponsor is Android and the Pro Audio team. And they've been creative this year in the sponsorship. They've offered 10 free tickets for people who couldn't otherwise attend. As any of the 10 free entrants are here today? Yes, there's 5.
They couldn't wake up either.
Well, there's 5 that couldn't wake up, but thank you very much for coming and welcome. I hope you will have a great time. Google people as well. Can you raise your hand? So the people from Google, Android, so Glenn and Phil, and there's probably a few around, or still in bed maybe. All right, so thank you very much, Android, for your support. And then we'll have a couple of talks as well. Our next sponsor is NVIDIA. I know there's no one from NVIDIA here. They couldn't make the trip, but we worked with them to optimize audio performances of our own ROLI app to work on the NVIDIA tablet called Shield. They are paying me to say that, but it's actually true. The Shield tablet is probably the best Android tablet for audio performances. And it's not surprising since NVIDIA is focused on games and gaming. And the performances required for fast gaming are very similar to what we know here in audio. So if you want to benchmark your application on an Android tablet, I would recommend the NVIDIA Shield tablet. JetBrains comes for the second time. Last year they had a talk. Today they have an exhibition outside. JetBrains are the maker of the ADC Lion. So I would encourage you to come and check it out. Native Instrument. Oh, but JetBrains people, are you in the room? No? They're probably at the booth outside. Native Instruments. Do we have NI people in the room? Yes, one over there. But there's actually more. There's a big delegation. They have 3 talks. One of them is about NKS, their protocol to communicate with their hardware. And the 2 other, I can't remember. I'm sorry. They're very technical and very good, I'm sure. The last sponsor is Arturia. Arturia is a French company making hardware synthesizers and a collection of plugins. Have they arrived yet? I don't think they're here yet, but they have an exhibition outside. So welcome Arturia, thank you for your support. And we have 3 community sponsors. Community sponsorship is about telling other communities about this event. So that's what CPP on the C++ conference had done, the Audio Engineering Society, and the Media Manufacturers Association. Thank you to them for spreading the word about ADC. So a few numbers. So there's 230 attendees. Yes. We're really happy to have twice as many people as last year. There's going to be 39 talks. Most of them have been peer-reviewed, and there's a few curated talks as well. We have 4 tracks. I'm going to tell you a bit more about the tracks so that you don't get lost. But 4 tracks means that you won't be able to attend all of the talks. Unless, well, if you can, let me know. We have 3 posters. They're outside as well in the exhibition area. A quick word about posters. This is a practice that comes from academia. It's rare to have those in industry events, but we're big fans of posters. It's a great way to engage on one-to-one basis with people and get feedback on your research or work in progress. So hopefully next year we'll have 10 or 20. And to encourage you, we also give a prize for the best posters, so you will be asked to vote later. We have 5 companies in the exhibition area. So JetBrains and Arturia, plus 3 of our house brands, so ROLI, Juice, and F-Expansion also have exhibitions, so you can check out what we do. Right, so we have 4 keynote speakers. So the first keynote speaker just after this introduction is Julian Starrer. Many of you know Jules is a founder of Juice, which is started in 2002. After having sold the software Traction to Mackie, he was left with code that he developed to make Traction working on Mac and Windows. And many of you who have been developers in the 90s know how hard it was to get software running on 2 platforms. So all that code base was useful for Jules, but also for others, so he started licensing it. And he's been working at it ever since. 2 years ago, in 2014, Jules joined ROLI and the code base with him. So now he's a director of software architecture at ROLI and work on ROLI projects as well as on Juice. And his talk is going to be about his latest project at ROLI. Our next speaker is Rebecca Fabric. Rebecca is a lecturer here at Goldsmiths, and she studied for a PhD at Princeton under Perry Cook, if I'm not mistaken. And she's been involved very early on in the mobile music making, working on the first auto-tune app called I Am T-Pain and a range of other applications with Smule. It came to my attention, well, we actually knew about this, that Rebecca is the only female speaker of the World Conference. It's not something we are proud of, rather the contrary. We very strongly encourage women to come and speak here. We have, in fact, almost half of the reviewers were women, and for the talks that are peer-reviewed here. but unfortunately we did not have many submissions. So we'll make an effort for next year to increase that ratio. And I'm very thankful for Rebecca for coming and for being the only woman. I can only apologize for that. Rebecca invented during her studies the Wakinator, which is a machine learning software that categorized a series of inputs and mapped that to musical output. And she's going to give tonight's keynote. Tomorrow morning, Dan Sachs, with a leader in the C++ community, having been on the standards committee for a number of years, is going to give the morning presentation. Dan is an expert of embedded programming. Many of you are coders of embedded platforms, and you know that the dominant language is C. Dan is an advocate of why you should use C++, and if you're a C++ coder yourself, it would definitely simplify your tool chain. So Dan is going to talk about that. Our closing speaker tomorrow evening is Roger Lin. Roger Lin is the inventor of the first drum machine with digital samples in the early 80s and is responsible, that's his word, for, or guilty, for the sound of the 80s. And that's but he is not short of jokes, so he'll have plenty for you tomorrow. He invented since many other hardware devices, guitar pedals, and most recently the Lin instrument. So he's going to give the closing keynote tomorrow evening at 5. Right, a few house rules. So all the talks are filmed. So when you enter one of the 4 rooms, just mind the camera and just see where it is. And if you come late to a talk, just avoid crossing its feed, so that people on YouTube watching later will be able to enjoy as much as we do. Also, if there are microphones in the room, please ask your questions using the mic so that it's recorded. And if you're a speaker, rephrase the question to make sure it's actually captured. Lunch is served outside, so when you get out on your right, you have breakfast right now and coffee and tea, and at lunch you have finger food. You can grab a plate and sit in the area here, or you can go on the first floor as well. There's more tables, and you can enjoy the posters and the exhibition as well. Tonight there's a banquet. If you haven't been able to register for a seat, I'm afraid there won't be any seats left, so it's limited, so I'm sorry. But it's about 40 minutes from here, so we'll need to take the overground, and it starts at 7. So as tonight's keynote finishes at 6, we'll help you find your way over there. There's going to be a group going, so we'll help you there. If you want any recommendation for restaurants around here for tonight, if you don't have a seat to the banquet, ask the reception, the registration desk. Okay, so to find your way in this place, you have 4 tracks. This is track 1, and it's in LG02, and track 2 is in LG01. It's a bit confusing, but so LG01 is that way. When you get out of this, it's at the end of that room. Track 3 and 4 are upstairs. They're a 2-3 minute walk from here. So take a bit of time to get there. It's room 3-6 for track 3 and room 314 for track 4. We have prizes. So the prizes will be determined, will be announced a bit later. One prize is for the best poster, one prize is for the most educational talk, one for the most inspiring talk, and one for the most entertaining talk. So we'll be asked to vote. That will be electronically, so you will receive an email. Speaking of email and Wi-Fi, some of you may have been given an information about a user code and a network called Goldsmith. This doesn't actually exist. So, but what exists is a guest network which you can register for free. You just give your email address and you're all set. So I invite you to use that. The name of that network is just guest, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Right. There's a small change in the program. We have Christoph Hart, who couldn't make it today, so we moved him to tomorrow. He's going to speak on day 2, track 4 at 3:40 tomorrow. It's not in your printed program, but it's online, so it's accurate online. Instead of Christoph Hart, at the same time he was scheduled for, you have Joseph Lahalle from IRCAM, who is one of our partners in the Rapid Mix project, who is going to give a talk, which is not announced on the printed program. Okay, you following? So it's today at 3 in track 4. All right, so before I pass on to my colleague Stephen, I just want to introduce you the team. So I'm Jean-Baptiste Thiebaut, I'm the chair of this conference, and I'm joined by Timur Dumler. Timur, over there. Many of you have been in contact with Timur because he's managed both the reviewers and all the speakers. So he did a great job. He's responsible for also the lightning talk tomorrow. You're most welcome to stay after Roger Lin's keynote. There will be food and drinks, and there will be an unconference or lightning talk event, open mic session, as Timur called it. And we'll have a few talks in a casual, relaxed way. So Charles Fryer is our conference manager. Where's Charles? He's probably running somewhere. So Charles is responsible for everything that doesn't go well, and everything that goes well. He's been an amazing conference manager. Ben Cooper, are you here, Ben? No, he's probably running as well. But Ben has been looking after partnerships and marketing. And we have also volunteers in orange t-shirts. Are you here, volunteers? Yes. Thank you very much for coming, for your help. Most of the volunteers, not all, but most of them are students here at Goldsmith, so they know the place very well. If you need anything, ask any of the orange t-shirts or people with a black card. All right, so we are running a little bit late. I'd like to invite my colleague Stephen Hempton, who is the head of director of hardware products at ROLI, who has a special announcement to make.
Thanks, JB. I'd like to echo JB's appreciation to all of you for being here today. Thank you for also giving me this mic. So just 2 days ago, here in London, we at ROLI announced our vision for a new way of shaping music. And that's a product called Blocks. So what Blocks is a modular music studio. And what we believe Blocks will do is enable everyone, from complete beginners to professionals, to make expressive music wherever they go, without the need for a music studio, even a laptop, or even cables. So let me show you what I mean. Thanks. So at the core of this system is a product called the Lightpad Block. What the Lightpad Block does, similar to RC boards, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, is take that same expressive technology, the ability to respond to 5 different dimensions of touch. So it will respond to the velocity with which you strike the surface, the pressure that you apply after you strike it. It responds to the direction of your movement, both in the X and Y directions, and also the velocity that you lift off the surface with. In addition, underneath its soft surface, there's an array of 225 LEDs that enable you to configure this surface to, in any way that you want. So you can use it to configure an expressive instruments, melodic grid, as well as drum pads. On the sides of the block, it's powered by a USB-C port that also enables MIDI output. On the sides we have 2 buttons, a mode button and a power button, each of which are backlit by 2 RGB LEDs. The power button just defaults to obviously on and off, but also turning Bluetooth on and off. So we have Bluetooth 4.2 on board, which enables us to output MIDI wirelessly to either an iOS device or a MacBook. What's really exciting technology-wise on the side is a new technology that we call Blocks DNA. So Blocks DNA are seamless connectors that allow the blocks not only to power each other, so you only need a single USB cable to power multiple devices, but also to communicate intelligently with each other. So they can pass data from each other, but also be aware of what is connected to what. So everything works extremely seamlessly. There's no need to go in and map things and configure things within any software application. So what that enables us to do, like I said, is just to begin to build this modular system in any way that you choose. So we're excited not just to announce the Lightpad block, but 2 additional blocks. The first is called the Loop block, which puts all of the key functions for production right at your fingertips. So each one of these 2 control blocks has an array of 15 RGB LEDs, as well as buttons specific for their functions. So on the Loop block, we have functions like play, pause, record. You can set volume, you can quantize, you can set the tempo of your recording. Each one of these buttons too is configurable to any color that you want. So in addition to the Loop block, we also have the Live block, which puts all of the essential features for live performance right at your fingertips. So we have things like octave shift, scale mode, chord mode, arpeggiation, sustain. So let's have a quick look at how you can use the Lightpad block along with the Live and Loop blocks to really begin to build a modular system. So all of the songs that you hear, and really what powers Blocks, is a free app called Noise. So Noise is available right now on the Apple App Store. I encourage any of you who use iOS devices to download it and get started. You can immediately, without the need for any hardware, begin to play, record, and loop music with its simple and intuitive interface. We're also excited to announce a new way of sharing music, which is noise.fm. So anything that you create using Blocks or Noise, you can easily share. You can also download things that other people have made, learn how they made it, remix it, and share that. So noise.fm is online today in beta. So finally, I want to just talk about the prices of each of these products. So obviously one of the big pieces of feedback that we got going back to our Seaboard Grand days was that everyone was super excited about our hardware, but some felt a little bit priced out. So we're excited that the Lightpad Block will be starting at $179, with both the live and loop blocks at $79. And as I just mentioned, the Noise app is free. So although these products are extremely affordable, we really think that their potential to make really deep and expressive music is almost unlimited. So I want to show you one final video of just how powerful this system can be. So blocks are available right now at ROLI.com, Apple.com, and at several Apple stores, including 2 right here in London at Regent Street and Covent Garden. So you can definitely go and check those out. Most relevant for us in this room, we're also pleased to announce developer.roli.com, which is online right now. And over the course of the next couple of days, Jules, David Ziccarelli, and others will be talking about the Blocks API and how we can configure and control this Blocks hardware, which we really believe is perhaps the most open source hardware within the music industry today. So with that, I'll turn it back over to JB. And thank you. Again, if you have any questions, just grab me or any one of the ROLI team.